Careful not to lose his Wraith Lord. Pulls back. He could potentially press the advantage with those Guardians, but
he is getting warp spiders.
He is
getting warp spiders, which would be very useful. If upgraded with Haywire grenades, this would be very useful in disabling the tank and allowing the Wraith Lord to completely annihilate it. Also very good at killing high model, low health squads, such as Orc squads.
Uriel taking great stride and pressing his advantage. Pops the entire power farm and begins to move towards the second one, but it looks like he's being cautious not to spread his units out.
I am hoping that Viet will actually win this one so we can see a third match. The first one was a bit of a rollover, but now we see Viet actually managing to resist, which is very nice to see.
It looks like Uriel only moved the tank halfway that direction, is deciding not to.
Uriel getting a second loaded tank, surprisingly, but does not have any capability of repairing it because he doesn't have sluggers, which are the only unit actually capable of repairing any Orc army, bar the Magboy hero, but he's going for the War Boss, so he doesn't have it.
Looted tank moving in to support the Orcs. The Shooter Boys back out of the fight, and the War Boss taking some
It's
heavy
going
hits.
down, I think. Yeah, he's going down.
Yep, and the Viet can press the advantage if he moves in that Wraith Lord.
He can very
Here comes
easily.
the second looted tank, and Uriel, realizing he now has his enemy flanked, is going to try to press it.
Although he's not using his warp spiders to actually disable the tank. He's chasing it down with the Wraith Lord, and it might actually go down here.
If he can just stop his Wraith Lord for a second and pop off one more Bright Lance, it'll almost certainly go down. He needs to pull back that Wraith Lord because she's going to take fire from 4 directions.
One looted tank goes down, in fact. And I'm not sure why did he use the grenades? He did not use the grenade.
He does not use the way Haywires yet, no.
Doesn't have the energy to. I'm not sure what he wasted it on. Uriel's still using those explosive shots on the Wraith Lord, not realizing it's not actually that.
Although it did, by AoE, also hit the Warp Spiders, crippling the squad. Despite the loss of a looted tank, Uriel still has the advantage in terms of map control.
In terms of victory points, though, Viet owns 2.
Viet took the opportunity to send his Warp Spider Exarch to the back and cap both victory control points.
That's what the Warp Spider Exarch is supposed to do, though.
This forces Uriel to move back his units and give Viet's forces some breathing room to recap. Recoup, I mean to say.
Warp Spiders are getting a Warp Spider Exarch, and Uriel's getting tank boosters, which are actually a very cheap unit to get for Orcs, but his requisition income isn't that great, so if Viet actually manages to just bleed, to make him bleed here, and he's using the Haywire grenade.
There's the Haywire grenade.
Although you might want to get... Oh, that's very nice. Moving the Wraith Lord, because that Bright Lance is not doing as much damage as it could.
Also, that permitted the tank busters to get a good volley in on him.
And a good bunch of lack of someone. I think he has a graphic side.
The tank turned around in an effort to run away. That's going to be a nasty rear armor hit.
It is, and it's going down.
That's going down.
And I think Uriel might actually have lost the advantage in this match by doing that.
He does, however, still have close to 900 power, Uriel. Meaning that he could replace those tanks if need be.
He has
However,
400.
that was a loss.
He has 429 threat, yeah. You know the deal. Although I don't think he has actually... Well, maybe he might get Knobs, but I'm not sure how effective Knobs will be against his ranged army of Doom. Although Eldar don't really have a way of countering it, it might actually be enough to just focus it down, because the only other units Uriel actually has are tank busters and shooters.
Yeah, moving up to tier 3.
Viet might have to watch out with his Wraith Lord there. Does a good job of outmaneuvering the tank busters and special. Might not want to go into that base though. That doesn't sound like a bright idea.
That would hurt.
But yeah,
while this was all happening, the Orcs did manage to take back both of the victory control points. However, Viet did take the eastern node. The Orc Shooter boys on the east side of the map are taking the chance to pop Archon Odium's power node relay on the eastern side.
That's going to take a while if they're on their own, although they have big shooters, so it's not going to take as long, but a bit too long for my liking personally. If I was playing, I wouldn't do it. I would just move into next point to cap.
It does, however, put pressure on Odium to move up.
This middle, this eastern victory point between the two bases is being, and he actually got knobs, so that might be problematic for Fiat now.
Oop, yeah, squad of 4 knobs.
This victory point is always in a contest. It's mostly being ghost capped, so that's the annoying part, I suppose. I think Fiat might have experience with knobs, and we'll just move him in melee with the knobs, and he does. This is not the brightest idea I've seen.
Although Uriel is not taking that advantage and begins to pull back, he does, however, up them with...
he pops use at choppers, which increases the melee damage of them. Doesn't use Ard Boys though, but Ard Boys would be hilarious. Yeah, that's not.
He's upgrading them with Ujamas,
which will make them more effective against vehicles. I'm not sure if that's necessary, considering Fiat doesn't have any vehicles.
Good grenade. Almost gets him in that charge.
He lost his own warp spiders though.
He did. He also lost his Wraith Lord. Pulls back the Guardians, attempts to flank with his other squad, but they're not going to be able to affect the target.
Nice grenades.
Yeah. Pops grenade and runs. Does drop one of the
but they've been upgraded by a knob. Yeah, they got upgraded by a knob leader. Because knobs do have that upgrade.
The issue of knobs trumping all that the Eldar could hope to do is back.
Although they're moving into this base here, that's not a good idea. Is he even managing them? No, oh, he lost the model. That's going to be expensive.
However, Uriel is at this stage just toying with him, given at 45 to 326 victory control points. Odium is not looking good.
He's not looking good, but it was a better match than the previous one, because that was a bit of a stomp.
Yeah, the Orcs capping the other eastern node, likely going to win on that due to the Eldar inability to respond.
The Eldar only has 2 Guardians left. He's building another Wraith Lord. I don't think that's a good idea actually, because those Wraith Lords are very ineffective.
She's got nothing on him.
I would argue for a Falcon, honestly, but
the Falcon would be a good one to plop out, especially with the enemy's lack of good armored response, given the tank busters took a hit. Although
it can kite the knobs all day.
Now have view jammers.
Yeah, Falcon would probably been better than Wraith Lord, because the Falcon is more powerful than other transports. Actually, it's not a Razorback in all means. But here's the game over, and
that 42 points was not going to hold them over for long in this game.
And Uriel is moving up in the brackets.
Looking at the end screen, Uriel had him on all accounts. Commander points, he had...
Me on. Yeah, move me on. I feel like at units lost, it's a lot more equal than the previous one, but it's still too much units to lose as an Eldar. And fortunately he did a lot better because he wasn't using Banshees this time around. But he still might want to watch his units and his unit control, because he definitely lost some units that could have survived for longer if microed properly.
This match came around and proves that both had relatively similar requisition gains, but on terms of power, Viet was far behind because of his inability to defend his nodes, and also his lack of response. Perhaps he could have moved up his Warspider Exarch and started popping Uriel's nodes, put pressure on him. If you look at the end screen, Uriel actually lost no nodes throughout the entire match, whereas Odium lost all of his.
Yes, that is a remarkable thing to see. Requisition is equal power. He has less than half.
Less than half. Far behind, far behind. That can be represented in the unit screen for units produced. Odium nearly had half the unit production. He simply could not hand it out, but despite this, he did hold up very well despite having such a huge loss economically.
I'm saying honor mats, even if it doesn't really matter in the rules of the tournament, which is best of 3, of course, and you're already 1-2. But if we get once there, we can. I think Uriel is just reveling in the fact that he's actually winning from someone at this point, to be honest.
How did his previous match go? The previous set before Viet? Or was Viet the first one on the ladder? I forget.
Viet was the first one on the ladder. I still have to see Alaris and Mangoa play against each other, which is the second matchup.
Ah.
Either way, if they're going to have the second match, we're probably not gonna show it and upload it, so I think it's time for us to say goodbye and thank you for watching the Dawn of 2 fireteam competition hosted by the Myriad Shrines, done by the European fireteam, of which there's only one, so that's easy enough to find. If you're interested in joining, please go to myriadshrines.engine.com. We'll be playing Eternal Crusade. As the Elder faction, which is severely lacking in people, so we're always looking for new recruits. Maybe a word from...
We'll use you. Doesn't matter time zone, doesn't matter gameplay preference. We'll find a place for you.
Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Have a good one.